Hey there, 8th graders. I am so incredibly excited to have you join me for today's lesson. Today, we're unlocking a foundational skill, one that's going to completely change the way you tackle literally any text from here on out. We are talking about reading for meaning, and specifically, generating pre-reading questions. Think about what happens when you start reading without a plan. Your eyes just kind of glaze over the words, right? You get to the bottom of the page and think, wait, what did I just read? But asking questions before you even read a single paragraph, that actually prepares your brain. It sets up this radar in your mind, actively searching for answers and forging a real, powerful connection with the text. And today, we're going to learn exactly how to do that.
Okay, let's dive into this roadmap for today. First up, active hunters versus passive readers. Then, the discerning heart. Number 3 is generating pre-reading questions. Next, question clues in action. 5th is your reading mission, and we'll wrap up with the godly learner philosophy.
All right, Section 1, active hunters versus passive readers, the secret to focused reading.
See, reading is a deliberate, intentional mission to extract meaning. Passive reading? Well, that's kind of like being a waiter at a restaurant when there are no customers. You're just waiting to see what happens, reading entirely without a plan. It's boring, and honestly, you forget half of what you read the absolute minute you close the book. Active reading, however, means you are hunting for information with a specific mission. When your brain is fired up and engaged, you naturally spot important details. You remember what you read, and you connect it to things you already know. You aren't just letting the words wash over you, you're out there actively capturing them.
Moving right along to Section 2, the discerning heart seeks knowledge, looking at the biblical wisdom in reading.
Proverbs chapter 18, verse 15 tells us, "The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out." So the crucial point is this: seeking knowledge intentionally is actually a sign of a wise and discerning heart. You aren't just randomly stumbling into wisdom hoping it hits you. You are actively seeking it out, exactly like you seek out information when you generate questions before reading. This academic habit, it's really a direct reflection of a godly, seeking heart.
Section 3. Generating your pre-reading questions, building your reading map.
Okay, it's time to build your toolkit. Here is your 3-step process. Step 1, preview text clues. Before you even read the very first sentence, look at the title, the headings, the subheadings, and absolutely check out any illustrations or charts. Step 2, let those clues spark open-ended questions. Use the big 6: who, what, when, where, why, and how. These specific words trigger your brain into deeper thinking and real discovery. And finally, Step 3, balance specific and broad questions. You want questions that are specific enough to keep you totally focused, but broad enough to let you discover cool things you might not have even expected.
Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds. Question clues in action, practicing the skill.
Imagine you're assigned a reading, and the only thing you see right off the bat is the title, Life in the Rainforest. Well, that's your title clue. Instantly, your brain should be turning that into a focused question. Before reading paragraph 1, you might ask yourself, how do animals adapt to constant rainfall? Do you see how incredibly powerful that is? You've just given your brain a highly specific mission before even starting the text.
Now, what's really interesting about this chart is that clues aren't always words. Take a look at this rapid population growth. Visuals, graphs, charts, these are massive clues for our pre-reading hunt. Honestly, you should never, ever skip over a visual.
Looking at that chart should immediately trigger an active reader's mind to formulate a visual clue question. You see those bars shooting straight up, and you naturally ask, what factors cause the population to increase so quickly? As you read the actual text later, your brain will subconsciously be hunting for the reasons behind that crazy upward trend.
And finally, we have the background knowledge clue. Let's say your assigned text is about space exploration. You already know a bit about space, right? Maybe you know there's zero gravity or that it takes a super long time to get anywhere out there. Well, you can use that background knowledge to ask, what challenges do astronauts face during long missions? Connecting a new topic to things you already know helps you formulate brilliant questions that link your old knowledge right to the new text you're about to dive into.
All right, Section 5, your reading mission assignment, putting it into practice. Time to put your detective hats on. Here are your 5 steps for this assignment. Number 1, preview a text and write down 5 pre-reading questions. Number 2, identify where your clues came from. Was it a title, a heading, maybe a visual? Number 3, you're going to share one of your questions with the class and explain exactly why you chose it. Number 4, predict possible answers before you even start reading. Just take a guess. And number 5, after reading, go back and mark which of your questions were actually answered. If you follow this exact sequence, I promise you, you're turning your brain into a highly focused information hunter.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 6, the Godly Learner Philosophy. Let's talk about why we learn.
The book of Romans, chapter 8, verses 6 and 7, gives us this incredible insight. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Keeping our minds spiritually centered is literally the foundation for all true learning. If we just chase knowledge for the sake of being smart or showing off, we're missing the point entirely. True life and true peace, they come from a mind constantly focused on the Spirit.
And this brilliantly illustrates why at HeroesMart Academy, we intertwine biblical morality with education. Because the truth is, education without morality can actually hurt. A godly learner completely understands that knowledge and intelligence should equip you to make wise, God-honoring choices, rather than simply making you more capable. We pursue academic excellence, like learning how to actively read and generate these amazing questions so we can keep our minds firmly centered on God, on truth, on wisdom, and on righteous choices. Which brings me to the final thought I want to leave you with today. As you open your textbooks, as you preview headings and charts, and as you gather all this new, exciting information, how will you use your knowledge today to pursue wisdom and make righteous choices? Really think about that as you go through your day, 8th graders. Be active hunters of truth, both in your academic reading and in your walk with God. Happy reading, and I'll see you in the next lesson.